Right, and well, as Summer talked about the issue of the UAE military confirming this arrangement with Blackwater, the spin on it was quite interesting in the official statement, because while much of the attention that's been focused by the New York Times on this issue has revolved around the potential use to suppress an internal rebellion inside of the UAE, the statement from the military there actually praised the work of Prince's company and other Western companies that have been working with the military, because it's enabled them to engage in quote-unquote successful operations in other theaters of operation like Kosovo, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Libya. Now, this is interesting because there is a ripe opportunity for mercenary forces to engage in Libya, either on contract with some form of a rebel government or alliance there. And so if Prince's company is involved with an arrangement through the UAE that somehow involves Libya, that would be the subject of quite a bit of interest, I'm sure, on Capitol Hill and in capitals around the world, because I think it's just a matter of time before we start to see an incursion of special operations contractors going into Libya, if they're not there already.
Finally, Jeremy Scahill, the timing of Erik Prince moving to the United Arab Emirates, what's happening here at home, and then if you could also comment on John Ashcroft and his new position.
Right. I mean, Erik Prince put the wheels in motion to go to the United Arab Emirates almost immediately after the 5 Blackwater executives under him were indicted on a 32-count indictment, felony indictment for weapons violations, allegations of bribery, of lying to agents of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. The United Arab Emirates does not have an extradition treaty with the United States. It's not. I think that Erik Prince knows where so many bodies are buried that he kind of is in pole position in terms of being indicted himself. He's been graymailing, what they call it, the U.S. government by leaking details of operations he's been a part of as a way of saying, if you come after me, I'm going to go Ollie North on you and blow the whole thing open. And so I think he more, in terms of strategic viewpoint regarding the investigations and indictments of Blackwater officials, Prince is trying to make it very difficult to be questioned in these matters, and the UAE is a safe place for him to operate. And if you have the support of the royals there, which he clearly does, and he's supporting them, it's a marriage of convenience and love apparently, then he has very little to worry about from them. Despite the fact that this Crown Prince can sit with President Obama one day and then be hatching mercenary plots with Erik Prince next day, is a stunning commentary on how little things have changed from Bush to Obama on this issue of mercenaries.
And John Ashcroft, the former Attorney General.
John Ashcroft has been named, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, has been named the chief ethics officer for the new Blackwater. That's actually being run by Bobby Ray Inman, who was a major figure under the Clinton administration, was picked to take over as defense secretary for Les Aspin, and his nomination was embroiled in controversy, and he was the former national security advisor. So they're sort of trying to rebrand Blackwater, but I mean,
new name Z, XE.
Well, it changes every day. It's Z, or it's United States Training Center.
USTC.
I mean, Blackwater has all these shadow entities around the world. I mean, we've seen a new one pops up every day. Now it's Reflex Response, now R2, Paravant, Greystone. I mean, I could list I could sit here for 10 minutes listing their various shell companies for you. But I mean, putting John Ashcroft in charge of ethics at Blackwater is like asking the fox to take care of the baby chicks on a farm somewhere and hoping everything's going to be fine. I mean, he's gonna devour the very idea of ethics. If you look at his track record when he was Attorney General, I mean, this is not an ethical man, and not anyone that has any business overseeing the ethics of a notorious mercenary firm.
Finally, Nisar Square, the latest on it, the killings by Blackwater forces in Iraq.
Right. I mean, the 5 Blackwater guards, as they're called, were indicted by the federal government for the shooting at Nisar Square, and the case was dismissed largely on technical grounds and because of malfeasance on the part of prosecutors, federal prosecutors. The government appealed that decision, and recently there was, there was a ruling favorable to the government. And so that case very well could move towards settlement because the guards probably don't want to stand trial, or it could go to trial, in which case there's going to be a question of how secret it's going to be. There's one civil case still remaining against Blackwater that we've covered extensively on Democracy Now!, brought by the father of the youngest victim of the Nisar Square shootings, a 9-year-old boy named Ali Kanani. That case has been moving forward quietly and could very well go to state court in North Carolina, where if it hits trial, there would be no cap on damages that could be awarded. So that really is the the wild card to watch. It could be the one place where there's any accountability for Blackwater at Nicer Square.
And to sum up, this issue of no Muslims in this force that UAE has contracted Erik Prince for, this idea of a private Christian militia in the Middle East.
I mean, I don't need to wax on my opinion about this. We can look at documents submitted in federal court cases from Prince's own former employees who say that he views himself as a Christian crusader whose role in the world is, wiping out Muslims and Islam in general. They said that he set a tone at Blackwater that rewarded the taking of Muslim life, viewed the operations in Iraq as, quote, payback for 9/11, even though Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11. So the idea that he would implement a policy that had at its core that Muslims would not fire on other Muslims if they were working for this kind of a force is consistent with everything we've heard out of Blackwater about Mr. Prince's worldview regarding religion and the supremacy of Christianity over Islam. It's very dangerous, Amy, when you have these kinds of forces in such volatile environments with all of the uprisings happening. I mean, the last thing that region needs is a Christian crusader force that appears to have the legitimacy or backing of the United States government, regardless of if it actually does. It's incendiary, and it's dousing an already burning fire with gasoline, and it's very, very dangerous. The Obama administration, if they're not supporting this, they need to do something about it. If they are, well, then that's serious, and they need to answer questions about what on earth they're doing, continuing this business with Erik Prince's Christian Crusader force.
Jeremy Scahill, author of Blackwater, The Rise of the World's Most Powerful Mercenary Army. He is a Nation Fellow, a Puffin Fellow, writes for The Nation at thenation.com, and is a Democracy Now! Correspondent.